Hey there, everyone. I've been playing this for a little while, and I think I'm finally ready to talk about it. Lots of saving and reloading from various points. Anyway, welcome. Welcome to Avernum 2 Crystal Souls. It is, as you may be able to tell, a very old school style of CRPG. If you don't know exactly what a CRPG is, you can really just look it up, but it means computer RPG, and they've been made for a very long time, and they were the prime sort of Western RPG type for quite a while in the days of the Infinity Engine games like Baldur's Gate and Icewind Dale and Divine Divinity and Planescape Torment, Arcanum, all that stuff. This company, the company that made this by the name of Spiderweb Software, has been making games for about as long as I've been alive, almost. I think, have like about 22 years on this industry, which is significant. And they've made some very good games, including the first Avernum, the Geneforge games, which are very interesting, especially around the first two and the fifth one, as well as the Avedon games, Avedon the Black Fortress, and a few others, as you may guess, in that length of time. But what we're going to be focusing on today is their newest, Avernum 2, and I guess the first thing to talk about, since it's the first thing you're going to see, is the graphic style. It is, like most CRPGs, isometric, so you have this sort of slanted top-down view that's called an isometric view, and the graphics are pretty much hand-drawn, lots of sprites and things of that nature, and the backgrounds and everything are pretty nice-looking. Now, the way a CRPG works is almost all of them are not necessarily graphically impressive. It's the way the art style comes together and the various hand-drawn assets that will look quite good. As you can see, things like these, the portraits, are hand-drawn and look pretty cool. And if we go to the inventory, you can see all of the sprite work for the items, and the actual character models, the sort of paper dolls, are all hand-drawn. And they look pretty cool. And as you can tell in the world, I'm in a sort of city-like area. It's a fort called Fort Draco. The first sort of big safe zone you'll come to in the game. It is, of course, not graphically impressive because it is quite far away, you know, old school textures, nothing super graphically intensive. However, I personally find the art style to be pretty cool because I love isometric, kind of far away and sprite-based stuff. And this has that in spades, as you could probably tell. Just about every CRPG has that kind of art style, with the exception of some of the really new ones, like Divinity Original Sin, which uses a full 3D world. So, it's take it or leave it. Some people are going to like it, some people aren't. But I personally find it pretty endearing. I like it. And some of the areas can look very cool, as we're going to go into the sort of world map area now. I just kind of wanted to show off. This is the city kind of environment you'll be coming to, various forts and cities that you'll find, and lots of NPCs to talk to, get quests from, and even train. Let's see. Learning haste might be useful. And maybe improving it. I can pay, and that'll work. What about rituals for him? Minor heal, definitely. Curing, yeah. And war blessing, sure, because I've got the money for now. There we go. Alright, so a character to help train my characters. And there are, of course, shops and things around here as well, so if we, say, go into here, this is a sort of high-quality goods shop. I can sell my stuff here. Like so. I have a junk bag, just all the various things, so you have a kind of quick sell, boom. Like that, got 117 coins back, and you can, of course, go to each character and sell from them, and also you can, excuse me, sorry, buy. Oh, that's expensive. Wow, that breastplate would be kind of nice, though. Maybe at some point. Right now, since depending on your, the character in question that you're buying from, as well as your reputation, their prices can change. You'll always be selling stuff for the same amount to anyone, but in this case, you can see his prices are exorbitant because, well, he's expensive. So I can buy stuff and give it to my various characters. Now, I guess the characterization is something to talk about. You can make your own party. I started with the default party on this save because I wanted to see what it was like. The races and classes all matter obviously, in this case, I have this man, who, not so much a class, I suppose, but you level up and stuff by, you'll have attribute points, of course, but you'll also have your various skills, and this is where the sort of class, quote-unquote, comes in by putting points into these, and there's combat and magic, as well as a trait system, and every certain number of levels you'll be able to get a trait, and they can be unlocked in different ways, kind of like perks in Fallout, actually, very much like those. And, yeah, there's the magic and skill system is pretty interesting because I'm a very variety-driven guy, and there are lots of them. So if we go to this, for instance, these are battle disciplines. These are like your warrior skills, essentially. There are this many, which is actually quite a few. So different types of melee and missile weapons, you can use these various skills on. These melee ones work with pretty much any melee weapon. So I'm using a spear on this character, but this guy, he uses a sword, and they also work for the sword. He just doesn't have as many points in those. Then you also have this character who's a priest, so you have some priest spells, a lot of them actually, of various kinds. And, woo, sorry about that. And mage spells, of which, again, there are a ton of them. So lots of variety in the skills and spells you have available, and also a large amount of variety in the equipment that you'll have access to. So let's go out to the world map and start traveling. So, world map, this is what I've explored so far. You are in Avernum. Avernum is an underground sort of cave world. The surface is ruled by the Empire, and they are less than friendly, so most people live down here, where there's no sunlight really, and mushrooms dominate the crops. Lots of mushroom wine and mushroom bread. Yeah, I know, it sounds delicious. But the world map works as you might expect. You travel along and there will be patrols of guards, which are friendly to me, but I'm guessing if I had something illegal going on, maybe they wouldn't be. And also there will be patrols of various kinds of enemies, and if you run into them, you'll come across a big battle area in which you'll fight. That is separate from other places. So, if I go to the very well-drawn world map, I have quests, all of them pretty much leading me to the same place, and that's Formello. I've done lots of other quests in this area. As you can see, you have your journal here. The only quests I have right now are, let's see, Ogres, road south of Fort Draco. I'm not sure if I can fight those at this level or not, but, you know, and this is kind of like one of the end game goals, to get rid of the barriers, which I'll explain, and then I have to travel to the city of Formello, because there's other quests there. You'll find all sorts of characters. In fact, this is a little farmstead over here that, battle, the characters needed my help to destroy some infestations. And you can get all kinds of side quests and job board quests and things like that to help give you experience and various rewards. They'll oftentimes, when you're rewarded, you don't only get experience and gold, but you'll also get some kind of item. So the battle system works in a turn-based, grid-based, very standard CRPG-style battle system. So my characters are going to go, and I just get to slash at these spiders. I don't really need to use any particularly special skills because the spiders aren't that threatening. So every character can equip a melee and a ranged weapon, and as you can see down here, I can switch between them. It doesn't take a turn to switch, so I can just hit V and switch between them. So that's actually pretty handy. I like that a lot, being able to equip sort of both sets of weapons. Not a particularly advanced setting or anything, but it's nice to have. And there we go, easy battle. Very, very easily done. So let me make sure there's no loot here, and end the battle. Now we're back in the world map. Simple as that, really. However, the battles get much more complicated later on when you actually go into indoor areas, which is where we're going to be going. So, let's see, there's all kinds of ways to go, but I want to get to Formello, which is south. So I think I'll be going this way. As you can see, the fog of war is very much in effect. You have to explore the areas to find out what's going on. That works on the world map and in unexplored towns, dungeons, things like that, which you'll find a ton of. There we go. And you'll also find concealed passages all the time, and secret buttons on walls, and all kinds of stuff like that. Again, that's very much a CRPG thing. Lots of secrets. Exploring is very valid, because getting more experience, more side quests, and more loot and rare loot and things like that, very important. In fact, a nice sort of difficult area for my level on a side quest led me to get these. It led me to get some battle crystals a focusing crystal. I think stuff that I can have crafted later on for me with maybe some NPCs that know how to do it. Into stuff, as well as this lava-fired spear, which is a very nice spear. Has some nice resistance and crit chance and stuff, so that's cool. Again, that wasn't stuff that I needed to find, but in classic CRPG style, exploring and going through difficult battles gets you nice loot. Now, another thing is there's lots of reading, because that's another CRPG staple. Lots of flavor text on items, lots of quest text, lots of encounter text, and again, this is the case, so I've reached Formello, more or less. This is a huge cavern with a high arching ceiling. The glowing fungus on the ceiling is brighter here than in most places, revealing many small farms with grazing lizards and neat rows of edible mushrooms. You're near Formello, one of the largest cities in Avernum. And there we go, so I can probably go to these farmsteads, I'm guessing, or at least some of them, and maybe find some side quests and other stuff to do. But I can also explore around and find, aha, Formello. So if we walk around here, luckily they'll be marked on your map when you actually find important areas to get into. And Formello looks to be right over here. So I can probably head in there whenever I want, but I kind of want to know anything important up here right now. Lots of secret passageways and stuff, which, okay. Humans don't seem to have settled here. Very tenacious and poisonous variety. Oh, that looks scary. Okay, well I might have to go there later, but for right now, let's head into Formello. And see what this city's like. Boop! And here we go. Now entering Formello. Oh wow, lots of text. Let's see. Into the city of Formello, northernmost of the 6 major cities of Avernum. Lots of lore going on. It gives you lore in a very nice way through people and flavor text. Streets bustle with activity, merchants, artisans, and farmers. Let's see. Tension in the air. There, of course, there's a war going on because Avernum is not a nice place. I've been fully repaired. Alright, so there's all kinds of stuff going on here, which means there'll probably be lots of people needing my help. So let's explore the city, and again, I've got to say, the art style comes into its own in this case. The graphics, of course, like I said, not the most advanced, which isn't the point, because the way it all comes together, what is that? To form this really nice-looking isometric cityscapes, and caves, and little forts, and bandit fortresses. It's all pretty nice looking, I've got to say. Whoa! You inspect the pylon, there's a phrase. Amlo kya? Make note of it. Okay. So I have no idea what that's all about, but one thing, you have this journal, and at any point, as you saw the various text, you saw a little thing that said record at the bottom. You can tap that, and it will put it in the journal, which means you can basically save a bit of text to look at later, if it has, say, important quest information or something in it, which is nice. Looks like I can take this without stealing. It'll tell me if it's stealing, so it's not. Let me just put some of that in my junk bag so I can sell it later. Always more money is nice. Hello, Tybalt. This is a nice park. What do you do? I'm a farmer. Where do you farm? Grow mushrooms. Why can't I touch them? Emergency crops in case we get sieged. Okay. Well, so not every NPC is that helpful necessarily, but everyone has a purpose pretty much. Stone pylon. I'm wondering what that's about. And another thing to say is, at any point, you can get items off the ground. That's how you'll get a lot of your loot, although there are, of course, chests and things like that. Whoa, hang on. Cavequake. Humanoid, very tall and thin. That's interesting. Horrified silence. Do not be alarmed, humans. I am Bonirno of the Vanatai people. I await your envoy. So where is it exactly? Over here? Yeah. Hi there. You climb the outcropping to face the shade. Any hope that the nearby guards will follow you and back you up are soon dashed. Yeah. Dim and insubstantial. Humanoid, 7 feet tall and skeletally thin. Interesting. The writing is pretty good, very descriptive, and not boring to read, in my opinion. And that's good because there's a lot of it, so lots of flavor. I like lore. Who are you? Let me listen to it. It says it awaits an envoy, so... We've taken some of our lands. Humans have committed greater theft from us, hideous theft. Barriers are beginning. So, the barriers are everywhere in Avernum, and they're cutting off various areas, these huge magical walls, and they're a big problem that needs to be taken care of, which is pretty much the reason behind the game. Like, you're adventuring through Avernum as Avernite soldiers, trying to figure out what the heck is going on and solve the issue, and doing everything else you can along the way. Okay. The figure points at the cave wall to the northeast. Whoa. Interesting. Come to us, protect innocence. Not rest till our crystal souls are returned to us. Name dropping! Courtyard mill about, stunned, everyone's flipping the heck out, and people are going nuts. Right. Wow, okay. So who knows what that was about? I'll take these crystals now, though. Right, that didn't happen. Time for a break. Yeah, so I don't know what that was about, but I'm guessing that's going to be the start of a fairly large quest chain in this area, so... I guess let's head in here. No need to use the door, because they made one. And let's talk to Amtar. Very old for Avernum, yes indeed. Mayor, okay, so there are various commanders, generals, mayors, and things like that of the cities and forts you'll find. These are the very important people to talk to kind of advance main quest lines and get lots of quests and things like that, so. Let's see here. Your hall is kind of broken. Uh-huh. Alright, so I have come from Fort Draco. Oh, we got a level! Ah, yeah! These shades are attacking us. They created the barriers. They think we are their foes, and we don't even know who they are. Alright, so I guess I have to go? Can you give me aid? Take whatever you find in my library and chambers. Alright. And I'm guessing I could explore around the place and find various, you know, shops and things of that nature, but I'm kind of curious as to what this is all about. So, large crevice to the northeast. I mean this? Yeah. Wide enough for you to fit through comfortably. Does this lead to a completely new area? Just enough glowing fungus. You hear hissing. Ugh. Lots of crystals. Hissing grows louder. Let's quick save really quick in case I get like just super wrecked all of a sudden, which is definitely possible. Oh, giant lizards. Alright. Battle time. So let's talk more about the battle system because it's something you'll be doing a lot. Every character, of course, has lots of skills and things to use, and these martial skills depend on the sum of your melee weapons, pole weapons skills, as well as you have things like Blade Master, which help hit chance and fatigue and things like that. All of these various skills, most of them are passives, really, but they help you unlock more actives, essentially is how it works. And we can use these various special attacks. He got slowed by walking through enemies, kind of like tackle zones in Blood Bowl. But, yeah, you can use these various attacks. Some people will use energy, some people will get fatigued, of course, if you're like more of a warrior class. And you won't be able to use them for a certain number of turns. Everyone has, of course, different weapons and things of that nature, and lots of equipment. Everyone can equip a certain amount of gear, depending on their stats and what class they are. For example, too much gear, even if it doesn't weigh too much for you to physically carry, will encumber mages to where they can't cast spells anymore. But priests, since they're kind of cleric-y, they can hold more gear than that. Which I will show you once the battle is over in the loot screen. So let's keep using some fireballs. Now the spells can be improved and learned by getting enough in the mage/priest spell skill and then finding tomes or trainers to help you learn them, and as you saw, you can actually learn the same spell multiple times, which upgrades it. And the third time is the max. It's sort of the top of the line spell. And I've noticed that the spell actually changes rather significantly oftentimes. It doesn't just get more powerful. For instance, that fireball spell used to only hit one target, but now that I've got it at level 2, learned it, twice, it actually has a cleave effect, like a sort of, instead of just a single target fireball, it's like slightly explosive, so enemies next to the target will often take damage. And that's perfect timing, everyone leveled up, so let's disable combat, we'll regenerate some health and energy, and loot. So you can carry a ton of stuff, everyone can. And you also have a junk bag that seems just about infinite, really. But your equipment is where your encumbrance comes from. So this stuff, the weight, isn't figured into what I'm carrying. What I'm carrying is what is actually equipped on each character. And as you can see, we have a lot of slots. So I've got all kinds of stuff, but every character is equipped with different things, obviously, and depending on their stats, have a different encumbrance limit. And like I said, even she, who can't carry that much, will get encumbered to the point where she can't cast spells anymore. So I can actually, I had an iron helmet on her, and it was only about 40 pounds out of 50, but she still couldn't cast any spells. It was too much. So you have to worry not only about their encumbrance, but also about resistances, what kind of weapons they're going to use depending on their skill sets that you have, leveled them up in, and whether or not they're magic users and how much they can carry besides. So, interesting. I like that, and every item with this little sunburst icon is a usable item. You just click that to use it. There's potions, food. You don't have to eat to survive. There's no food meter, but it restores a bit of health. There are also scrolls, of course, which use spells. And also, I think there's a crafting, not a crafting system. I don't think you can craft on your own, but I've found various materials like this black basalt, those focusing crystals that she's holding, and herbs of various kinds. I think you can find NPCs that can make them into things for you. I don't think there's a crafting system for your characters. I think you find people to make them into stuff, which is pretty cool. So let's show you how leveling up works. So leveling takes a while. I'm only level 6 right now, but I've been playing for several hours. But even a single level is a big deal. So you can increase an attribute. In this case, I'm going to get his endurance up to get his maximum health a bit higher. And also, he's getting poisoned a lot, so I'd like to help that. Poison is a very big thing down here, and acid is even worse. And then you get a couple of skill points to put into their skills. So let's upgrade pole weapons once. And let's see. I think quick action is nice because having him go multiple times is very useful. Dual wielding, not interested right now. But also that whole fatigue system where you use a battle skill and you can't use another one for a certain number of turns. I'd like to make that as low as possible, so we'll do that. And he has 2 traits to learn. Nice. So these are the ones I have available. You can increase these multiple times. As you can see, there's a maximum increases amount, so you can take the same trait multiple times to enhance its effect. And there's a lot of traits, it's just not all of them I have access to right now because of the various prerequisites that you need to have. But Challenger, this one's new. Let's see. Well, anger and draw attacks from all nearby foes. That might be very useful, but I'm not sure if I'm high enough level for that yet because, we don't have a massive amount of health at this level. Rate of shedding fatigue. There we go. Do that. Quick learning. Yeah, I like that. Boom. So that's 1 level. Let's just continue on. So we'll give him more dexterity, or more strength, because his hit chance is kind of low right now, so I'd like to get that up. And we'll increase his sword skill for extra hit chance, and his parry, because ranged attacks are a bit of a problem, and you can parry ranged attacks with that, so we'll do another one of improved endurance to help get his health up, I think. There we go, he has 1 trait available. Our priest is going to get some intelligence, character spell energy, because his spells use a lot of energy and he doesn't have a lot, so let's do that. And let's give him a level in priest spells and a level in tool use. Tool use is things like disarming traps and lockpicking doors. There isn't a minigame for it, you just have to have enough tool use in your party. Everyone adds up how much they have, and then if you click on something of the right level, then you get it, your party gets experience, and you get to do whatever it is that it's supposed to do. Ooh, sword mage. That might be useful because I'm building him kind of cleric-y. Well, actually, that's mage spells, though, not priest spells. So let's see. Blessing focus, healing focus. Yeah. Healing focus, for sure. And finally, our mage. So let's give her another thing in intelligence. And mage spells and maybe arcane lore. It helps learn new spells from environmental things. Spellcraft is really useful though. Let's do spellcraft this level. And she has 2 traits. So sword mage, definitely, and elemental focus. Yeah. There we go. So that's the level up system in action. Very nice. So the character progression is probably the prime part of this game. There are so many skills, so much loot, lots of gear and things like that. Oh god. That each character can definitely be your own. And of course the races matter. You can just start with a basic character if you want to. And you can also actually make your own party if you want to. Welcome to the cool moist air. The kind of picking up stuff on the ground thing is nice because it lets you just sort of, in a kind of organic way, see the items scattered around the area and pick them up if you want. So let's go down. This is going to be a dungeon area. And it does make you kind of click the pick stuff up button all the time. Ruins. Very strange haunted place. Because you'll be looking to see if there's anything you want on the ground. But that's alright. And if I do have a problem with the game, it's that everything is very small at high resolutions. Obviously I play at 1080p, so the interface is fine. Like, as you can see, all the windows, they look fine. Everything, but the actual game is quite small. And that can make finding stuff on the ground a little bit difficult sometimes. This place is beautiful. But also, it's small. It looks very small. There's no zoom function. You can't, like, zoom in closer. This is a fixed perspective. You can't rotate and you can't zoom. So if I had, excuse me, any problem with the game, that's probably it. It's not the biggest deal, like it's the most annoying, awful thing in the entire world, but, wait, let me save in case I screw this up, which I probably will. I have a scroll, hang on. Stone Shatter. Destroy nearby fragile stone. Boop. Oh, it didn't work. Your power wasn't enough. Hang on, let me quick load. If I use that as her, will it matter? Because it's a scroll, so I don't know if it'll matter. Let me give it to her. A very simple drag and drop interface for using spells and things of that nature, which is, you know, just fine. Works out. And then we'll use it. Boop. Nope, not enough. Alright, well, I'll just keep that then. And see what happens. So, what do I think of Avernum? What's my conclusion? The conclusion is it's a very good CRPG if it's your kind of thing. Lots of reading. Lots of exploring to find extra loot. Side quests, huge numbers of side quests. And a lot of character interaction. You can... Ooh, there's even boats and stuff. Very cool. I like the looting system. There's a ton of equipment and stuff like that. As you can see, all sorts of things. And, the characterization, the character development, as well as the level up systems with so many spells and skills, make each character fairly unique. The art is nice. Cool. So I can go in a boat soon. The art is very nice, and the secrets you can find, hidden switches, stuff in walls, various environmental puzzles, like maybe that thing that I saw earlier, that upstairs, the that pylon thing might be part of a puzzle of some kind. Oh. I'm on a boat. Cool. Extra exploration. And the game definitely does open up quite soon. It lets you do your own thing, make your own journey, and it's very much a, ooh, this is an entirely different, no map exists, sort of world map. This is cool, I like this. And there's just a huge amount of exploration. Alright. And I'm kind of in love with that. Alright, let's hop off. Boop. And I really like it. I think Spiderweb has done a very good job learning some of the shortcomings of previous games and enhancing their newest effort to be quite the thing. And the lore is interesting, the world is fun, and the characterization, loot, and quests are definitely what's keeping me going. It's not for everyone. I understand that. CRPGs are not a genre that everyone can get into, but I can, and I love it. And it's just gotten really interesting with all these ruins and stuff. So there you go, folks. Avernum 2 Crystal Soul is available right now on Steam. I recommend it if you're into CRPGs, and if you don't know if you're into CRPGs, because there haven't been a lot of them recently, there's only been in the last year or so that there's been a big revival, this is a good one to start with, because it's not insanely difficult, but it's also not, I guess, too easy. And there are, of course, difficulty settings, but there's a lot of customization here without being something like a Dark Eye game where you can just super gimp your character if you're not careful. So, yeah, it's good. I like it. And the mixture of all the mechanics come together to make something very enjoyable if these style games are your thing, and they are mine. So, there you go, folks. Thanks very much for watching Avernum 2 Crystal Souls. I'll see you next time.